Hello, this is Margaret Knoll with the League of Women Voters of Portland, and you are watching the Video Voters Guide or listening to our podcast. We are here today with candidates running in the May 19th, 2026 primary election. We are grateful for the support of the Carolyn Velma Sailing Foundation, the Weiss Foundation, the Sarah Fruing Fund, members of the League of Women Voters of Portland, and our media partner, Metro East Community Media. With me is Juan Carlos González, who is a counselor with Metro and who is running to become Metro president. Welcome, or Counselor González.
Hi, Margaret. I'm so happy to be here.
Would you tell us a little about yourself and why you are seeking the position of Metro President?
Absolutely. Yeah, so my name is Juan Carlos. I'm born and raised in Washington County. My parents are immigrants from Mexico. So I'm born and raised in this community, and I'm so grateful to have been born here. I think we live in the most special place in the country. And I just became a dad. I have this beautiful 9-month-old baby girl at home. And with my work at Metro, I asked myself big questions that are now also impacting my family and my daughter. Will she be able to afford to buy a home? Will this be a place of opportunities for her? Is she going to have clean air and clean water to enjoy when she's my age? And I feel a lot of energy around answering those questions to make sure that they're a definitive yes. And that is what is really leading me to run for Metro Council president and to continue the success of my last 7 years as a Metro councilor.
Thank you. What is the most significant challenge facing Metro, which your office has the authority or would have the authority to address, and how would you do so?
Thank you for the question. Absolutely the most important question and challenge that Metro will need to address is affordability, and specifically housing affordability for young people, for young families, but also for people that want to retire in this region with dignity. I've led a lot of work at Metro through our affordable housing bond to build thousands of affordable housing units. Also recently led the efforts to create a housing production accelerator fund here at Metro, because I think the most important work that Metro does is really around land use planning, making sure that we make the most of the land that we have, that balances our goals of protecting the environment and also of delivering housing in neighborhoods close to work, close to where people are able to enjoy infrastructure. But also, I think that we have some challenges with our current land use system, with the lack of land supply for us to be able to build the housing that we need. And so I see myself as leading these highly engaging, collaborative conversations where we also have we ask the difficult questions about how do we balance this ability for us to deliver that affordability for people. And also, I want to make sure that we bring back investment to create jobs, a thriving economy. So again, not just this generation, but the next are able to see themselves as reflected in the future and to have opportunity here. So to answer the question, affordability, we need to make sure this place is a place that families, that people can take risks.
You are listening to the League of Women Voters of Portland Video Voters Guide, or the podcast of the Video Voters Guide. And we are talking with Juan Carlos González, who is counselor now of Metro, but running to become Metro president. The next question, we have a whole lot of questions that you've already touched on, but what changes would you support in the scope of Metro's authority?
Thank you. Well, for me, I think one of Metro's superpowers is as a regional government, we think beyond a single city, beyond a single neighborhood, and ask what are the challenges our region is facing? How do we need to work together to pool our resources together, our leadership, our innovation to address those problems? And I really think that this region really needs a strong Metro president that will help us build a sense of alignment, especially with all of the challenges that we're facing, not just as a country, but internationally and geopolitically. I know that we're facing some of the hardest moments in recent memory, and that our region needs to build alignment around how are we going to address some of these problems around housing, around transit, around jobs, around innovation. And what I want to bring in terms of a change is a change in culture. I want to make sure that this next generation of politics, that we have no sacred cows, that we're really able to ask hard questions about what does Oregon need to do to reinvent ourselves, to make sure that our values are being met. And I want to focus on outcomes. And so to me, my biggest change is a change of culture, a change of what we do for the community, the value that we bring. I think for a long time, Metro has focused on managing growth. And right now we're in a period where we do not have a lot of growth to manage. And so I think we need to build new muscles, again, to make sure that this region is affordable, that it's welcoming, and that it's a place of opportunity.
What changes, if any, would you support for Metro's budget?
Changes to Metro's budget. Recently, for our current budget cycle, Metro piloted a something called zero-based budgeting with our garbage and recycling department, and this has been to me an incredible revelation because often when governments budget, they take what they did last year and then they do a small adjustment for inflation without asking, did we meet our goals? What are the most essential things that we're doing? What does the community need from us right now? And do we need to kind of reformat ourselves? The work that we did in our budget around our garbage and recycling team really forced the leadership of that department to look from the ground up and rebuild their budget and rebuild some of the positions there. And that led us to saving millions of dollars that we're now able to reinvest into new initiatives or new facilities that are going to bring household hazardous waste and recycling depots to communities on the edge of the region, which I'm so excited about. That's kind of what I'm talking about when I say no sacred cows, that I'm someone that deeply believes in the role that the government can play in making lives better for Oregonians. And that means that we need to have the courage and the bravery to make our governments do that. And so I think the zero-based budgeting example, I don't think just Metro needs that. I think every single local government needs to commit to that. And I'm excited to keep doing this and showing people, telling people the tremendous success and results of this approach with our budget.
Thank you.
Of course.
This concludes our Video Voters Guide and podcast interview of Juan Carlos González, who is a Metro Councilor now and running for the title of Metro President. Election Day is Tuesday, May 19th. To find additional election information resources, including online identifications of other candidates and ballot measures on which you will be able to vote, please visit the League of Women Voters of Portland website, lwvpdx.org, or vote411.org, and then exercise your right to vote. Ballots will be mailed starting on April 30th. For your vote to be eligible to be counted, your ballot must be received by Multnomah County Elections Division no later than 8 p.m. on Election Day. We strongly recommend that if you are depositing your ballot with the U.S. Postal Service, you do so no later than Tuesday, May 12th. Or you can take it directly to the Elections Division or put it in a designated ballot drop box. Your vote is your voice, and it's really important, so we encourage you to vote. Thank you for your interest.